It all started with a dusty, old map. 10-year-old Alister found it tucked away in his grandfather's attic, buried beneath a pile of forgotten books and yellowed newspapers. The paper was brittle, the ink faded, but the drawings were clear. Strange symbols, winding paths, and at the very center, a large, ominous X marked with the words, "Center of the Earth." "Grandpa, look at this," Alister exclaimed, rushing into the living room, the map clutched tightly in his hands. Grandpa Hugo, a retired geologist with a twinkle in his eye and a love for the outlandish, examined the map closely. "Well, I'll be," he murmured, stroking his white beard. "I haven't seen this in years. This map belonged to my great-great-uncle, a rather eccentric fellow who was convinced the Earth was hollow." Alister's eyes widened. "Hollow? You mean like a giant ball with nothing inside?" "That's the theory," Grandpa Hugo chuckled. "And he dedicated his life to finding the entrance. According to him, there are passages all over the world that lead to this hollow center." Alister was hooked. "Did he ever find it?" Grandpa Hugo shook his head. "No, but he left behind journals filled with his adventures and theories. He believed the map held the key." From that day on, Alister was obsessed. He spent hours studying the map, deciphering the symbols, and tracing the winding paths with his finger. He read his great-great-uncle's journals, learning about strange rock formations, underground rivers, and mythical creatures rumored to dwell in the Earth's depths. The more he learned, the more he believed. Alister knew he couldn't embark on this journey alone. He needed a team. First, he recruited his best friend, Flora, a brilliant inventor with a knack for creating gadgets out of anything she could find. "A journey to the center of the Earth? Count me in!" Flora exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "I'll build us some awesome gear." Next, they approached Carlos, the school's star athlete and a master of survival skills. Carlos was initially skeptical, but the promise of adventure and the chance to prove his mettle soon won him over. "If you need someone to navigate treacherous terrains and outrun giant worms, I'm your guy," he said with a grin. Finally, there was Gizmo, Alister's loyal golden retriever. Gizmo had an uncanny sense of direction and an insatiable curiosity, making him the perfect companion. With the team assembled, Flora got to work. She designed helmets with built-in lights and communication devices, backpacks with self-adjusting straps, and multi-purpose tools that could dig, climb, and even repel underground creatures. According to the map, the entrance to the Earth's center was hidden behind a waterfall in a remote mountain range known as the Whispering Peaks. After weeks of preparation, the team set off on their adventure. They hiked through dense forests, climbed steep cliffs, and crossed rushing rivers, following the map's cryptic clues. Finally, they reached the Whispering Peaks, a range of jagged, mist-shrouded mountains that seemed to echo with strange, otherworldly sounds. After days of searching, they found it. A waterfall cascading down a sheer rock face, concealing a dark, narrow opening. "This is it," Alister whispered, his heart pounding with anticipation. "The Cave of Whispers." As they entered the cave, the whispers grew louder, swirling around them like unseen spirits. The air was damp and cold, and the only light came from their helmet lamps. The cave twisted and turned, leading them deeper into the earth. Suddenly, Gizmo stopped. His ears perked up and let out a low growl. "What is it, boy?" Alister asked. Gizmo barked again, pointing his nose towards a dark tunnel branching off from the main path. The team exchanged nervous glances. "Should we check it out?" Flora asked. "The map doesn't mention any side tunnels," Carlos said. "But Gizmo seems pretty insistent," Alister decided. "We'll check it out, but stay close." The tunnel led them to a vast cavern, where an underground river flowed through the darkness. The water glowed with an eerie bioluminescence, illuminating the cavern with a soft, otherworldly light. "This is incredible!" Flora gasped. "I've never seen anything like it." As they followed the riverbank, they discovered strange rock formations, glowing crystals, and plants that had never seen the sun. The whispers from the cave had faded, replaced by the gentle sound of the flowing water. Suddenly, the ground began to tremble. "What's happening?" Carlos cried, struggling to keep his balance. The river began to rise, and the glowing water turned a menacing red. A deep, rumbling growl echoed through the cavern. Something's down there, Alister realized, and it's big. Just then, a massive creature emerged from the depths of the river. It was a giant serpentine beast with glowing red eyes and razor-sharp teeth. The team stared in horror as the creature lunged towards them. "Run!" Alister shouted. They turned and fled, the giant serpent hot on their heels. The cavern echoed with the creature's roars and the team's frantic footsteps. Flora, ever resourceful, spotted a narrow crevice in the cavern wall. "This way!" she yelled. They squeezed through the crevice, just as the serpent's head smashed against the rock, sending shards of stone flying. The creature was too large to follow. Panting, the team found themselves in a hidden chamber, a magnificent cavern filled with giant, sparkling crystals. The crystals pulsed with light, casting rainbows across the cavern walls. "We're safe," Alister said, catching his breath. For now. As they explored the crystal cavern, they found ancient carvings on the walls. The carvings told the story of the giant serpent, a guardian of the Earth's center, and a prophecy of a group of young explorers who would one day awaken it. "That's us," Flora realized, her eyes wide with awe. "We're the explorers from the prophecy." The carvings revealed a way to appease the serpent and continue their journey. At the heart of the Earth, there was a crystal, the Soul Stone, that held the planet's energy. If they could reach the Soul Stone and use its power, they could calm the serpent and restore balance to the underground world. Following the carving's instructions, the team navigated a series of treacherous tunnels and chambers, each one more challenging than the last. They climbed across chasms, solved ancient riddles, and narrowly escaped booby traps set by long-lost explorers. Finally, they reached it, the heart of the Earth. It was a vast, awe-inspiring chamber, at the center of which floated the Soul Stone, a radiant crystal pulsating with unimaginable power. As Alister reached out to touch the Soul Stone, the ground began to tremble again. The giant serpent had found them. The serpent lunged, its massive jaws snapping shut around them. But Alister, remembering the carvings, held the Soul Stone high above his head. "We don't want to hurt you," he cried. "We only want to help." The Soul Stone glowed brighter, and a wave of energy washed over the serpent. The creature froze, its eyes softening. It lowered its head, listening intently to the stone's soothing hum. The Soul Stone began to emit a melody, a soft, enchanting lullaby that filled the chamber. The serpent's roars turned into gentle sighs, and its massive body relaxed. It closed its eyes, its breathing slow and deep. The serpent had been calmed. With the serpent appeased, the team used the Soul Stone's energy to open a portal back to the surface. They emerged from a hidden cave in their own backyard, blinking in the sunlight, the map and the Soul Stone safely in their possession. Grandpa Hugo was waiting for them, his eyes filled with pride and relief. "You did it," he said, hugging each of them tightly. "You actually did it." The team shared their incredible adventure, the wonders they had seen, and the dangers they had faced. They knew their journey had changed them forever. They had proven that even the wildest dreams could come true, that the greatest adventures were often found in the most unexpected places, and that the power of friendship and courage could overcome any obstacle. And as they looked at the map one last time, they knew their journey was far from over. The Earth held many more secrets, and they were ready to explore them all.